evening. Okay, Melody Mel from Turkey watching with us. Good evening ba o morning, Mel? Okay, ang ating mga panauhin po ngayong gabi ay kasing gwapo ng mga artista. Uunahin ko po. Uunahin ko po si ang ating Assistant Regional Director ng Department of Health Center for Health Development, Dr. Josh Brillantes. Dr. Josh, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Dr. Sil, and sa mga listeners mo.
Welcome to
kay
Parsipatan. And of course, no, kung may mga katanungan kayo dyan tungkol sa mga quarantine passes, no, kasi at saka yung 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 show cause order ng DILG, no? Kasama po natin si Attorney Kenneth Beldua. Attorney, good evening and welcome to Parsipatan.
Doc says, good evening, maayong gabi. Buenas noches con la ciudad de Zamboanga. We would also like to greet a very pleasant evening to our distinguished Assistant Regional Director, Dr. Brillantes.
Okay. So, siguro, from region tayo, no? Down to the city. Doc Josh, the pronouncement of President Duterte, no? Downgrading the ECQ to GCQ, General Community Quarantine. Ano ang reaction ninyo dito at ano ang magiging epekto nito?
Okay, regarding itong extension and also yung declaration ng mga general community quarantine, no? Especially for our region na nandoon tayo sa moderate risk, no?
And low risk.
Yeah, although ang kuwan kasi doon kasi Zamboanga del Sur kasama yung Zamboanga City, so kung i-add up yung dalawa talaga 10 siya, so nasa moderate risk tayo, low to moderate risk. Zamboanga Sur, so included doon is Zamboanga City. Yeah.
Ano ang difference, Doc Josh, ng ECQ ng GCQ?
Yeah, for the ECQ, no, alam naman natin na talagang walang kung pwede walang lalabas, no, except for the essentials, no, yung mga health workers, at saka kung pupunta ka doon sa mga grocery or pupunta ka doon sa mga drugstores. Yung sa at saka yung classes are being stopped, work has been talagang totally na nag-stop yung stoppage ng work natin. While the general quarantine, no, community quarantine, inaalaw na nila ngayon yung paglabas ng mga tao except yung 0 to 20 years old, 60 and above, and those population na may mga those persons na may mga comorbidities. Kasi sila kasi itong 60 and above, ito usually may mga comorbidities at sila yung madaling maghawa. And ito namang 0 to 20, kasi based doon sa data natin, no, ng cases ng COVID, this age group, usually asymptomatic to mild lang yung symptoms nila na nararamdaman. So, meaning this could be the possible carrier. Kasi wala kang symptoms, no? So, baka i-allow natin ito sila na maglabas, baka laboy-laboy ito sa labas, yun pala ay mga carrier na sila. So, yun ang one. And then for the work, no? Ang sinasabi naman doon sa COVID Task Force, no, sa national is dapat 50% lang ng mga workforce ang pupunta doon sa office, but they have to observe also yung distancing, and even yung transportation ng kanila is like sa NCR 50% of the transportation pwede in NCR kasi enhance yun, but for yung sa mga GCQ 50%, but they have to dapat may may arrangement sila ngayon, no? Especially yung sa mga bus or jeepney. Kasi magka-dikit-dikit yung mga tao doon. So, at least siguro 50% na lang yung passenger na i-accept doon sa mga bus or sa mga jeepneys.
Mhm. What about sa health, Doc Josh? Ano kaya implikasyon nito?
Yeah, yun ang problema natin ngayon, no? Especially, like for example, dito lang mismo sa Zamboanga City natin. Kasi before, may criteria yun sila na pina-follow, especially yung risk, no, yung transmission yung local transmission natin, no, na yung doubling time, especially Metro Manila, na parang nasa 5 days or less, nagdo-double yung mga cases, especially itong mga yung hindi pa pinayagan na mag-general quarantine. And then, like sa case natin sa Zamboanga, kung titingnan natin for the last more than 10 days, siguro it's less than 15 days also, na nagka-positive tayo. No? Pinaka-last na report na positive, tapos nga after 15 days, mayroon tayong isang positive na naman. So, medyo malayo yung
Gap.
no? Kung i-flatten natin, kung i-graph natin siya, from the start, flat na talaga yung natin. But, ang isang catch kasi dito is, we are not assured kung ano talaga yung real-time na cases. No? Even not real-time, but at least siguro na mayroon tayong 2 to 3 days na gap, especially sa reporting. Because sa ngayon, nakuha natin yung mga results more than 5 days. No? Especially this time, matagal siya kasi RITM ay
May problema sila doon.
May problema sila sa testing. Nag-scale down sila ng personnel, so maapektahan din yung processing ng mga results. So ang kuha natin ngayon is doon sa Southern Philippine Medical Center. So hindi natin masyado makuha yung cases natin, yung transmission, especially kung ganito yung report natin, no? Unless kung mayroon na tayong sariling magraran na tayo ng PCR laboratory, at least 2 to 3 days, mayroon na tayong result. And then second, Seal, is yung preparation ng yung capacity ng healthcare natin, no, sa Zamboanga Peninsula. Kasi, like for example, if we will not practice yung social distancing, yung home quarantine, kasi ito ay at least effective ito, especially na ma-reduce natin yung spread ng virus. Now, like for example, for Zamboanga City, kung wala tayong, this is based doon sa studies nila, na if we don't, pag hindi natin i-implement yung distancing, wearing of mask, wala tayong preventive measure, ang expected is siguro 50% of the population of Zamboanga will be infected with this virus. Assumption lang ito, ha? Hindi naman siya ano. But if we institute, no, yung preventive measure, kung magsa-surge man siya hanggang mga 25% ng population. Now, again, no, assumption lang ito, but based on the reality, especially kung magtutuloy yun na like yung mga samples natin ngayon ay talagang magne-negative, kasi we still have around more than 70 or 80 samples that are now pending in RITM. No, so ito yung lahat ng mga nandoon sa RITM. And kung titingnan natin, especially for the capacity, no, ng healthcare natin dito, yung sinasabi ko, no, na like for example, out of that, like say 25% kung magka-infected yung mga tao dito sa Zamboanga, we have a population of around mga
Almost 1 million.
almost 1 million. So, siguro mga 250,000 or mga 200,000 ang affected,
Mhm.
no? 85. Then 20% of this or 15% of this kasama na yung severe at saka yung
Mild.
kailangan ng ventilator.
Mhm.
At saka, and then kung titingnan natin based dito sa data, we only have around 45 mechanical ventilator for the whole region.
Whole region na.
For the whole region, we only have 45 mechanical beds. And this 45, hindi pa natin ito magagamit lahat ng COVID kasi ginagamit din ito for non-COVID
No, ibang
patient
pasyente.
na serious. No, and then we only have 181 isolation
Facilities.
beds
Aha.
beds na ito, no, for that we can that is intended for severe and yung critically ill. So hindi pa natin kaya, especially kung severe, no?
Mhm.
So that's why importante pa rin talaga na we can, and I hope no, with these 15 days, kasi hindi naman lahat ito sa hospital ang gera ng COVID.
Mhm.
We have to fight this at the community level, at saka sino yung nasa community tayo. So we also, especially kung mag-generate, kasi dalawa ang pinaglalaban-laban dito eh, health or economy,
Mhm.
no? Kasi mahirap din naman kung wala ng tao yung pera, yung tao, no? Walang pera, walang kabuhayan. So paano sila mabubuhay? But before we have to do this, because we will not be staying forever na ganito na lang. So at least siguro mayroon pa tayong time, especially sa mga LGUs natin. Kasi nung start pa lang, they were already advised na magtayo ng isolation area, ng quarantine area, or sa ngayon, tinawag na siya na ligtas COVID facility.
Mhm.
So yung mga quarantine areas natin. Kaya in-encourage ng LGU na dapat mayroon talaga silang quarantine area, kasi yung suspect at saka yung mga mild,
Mhm.
even yung confirmed, pwede naman natin siya ilagay doon sa isolation area, or pwede nga sa home if we are assured, no, na kung sa bahay siya lang mag-isa sa room, mayroon siya sariling bathroom, toilet. So, pero ilan lang yun sa mga population natin na kaya na ganyan.
Mhm.
So, dapat talaga may kasi kung hindi ka sure ma-practice yung strict quarantine sa bahay, hindi doon na natin sa community quarantine ilagay. So, mayroon pa naman, wala pa naman mayroon pa tayong time to prepare, especially sa mga LGUs natin. Titingnan natin yung capacity at saka yung especially yung isolation area. Like for example, in Zamboanga City, kasi malaki yung population ng Zamboanga City para sa province din siya.
Mhm.
But I think proactive naman yung local officials natin sa Zamboanga City. And in fact, yung nataka natin is very functional.
Mhm.
But and I think Zamboanga City has also planned for expanding yung isolation area nila, kasi kung 1 million ang population ng Zamboanga City and yung lantaka natin, I think
80?
can only cater less than 100
Yes, yes.
population.
Then 100 plus ang medical center.
Yeah, and then titingnan pa natin, kasi itong COVID, 14 days ay ang haba ng 14 days. Kung matagal sila ba tanggal doon sa mga quarantine area or sa isolation areas natin, maghihintay ka ng 14 days, iwan kung marami, no? So, but kuha naman yung kuha natin dito sa, in fact, for Zamboanga del Norte at Sibugay and Isabela City, wala man tayong cases doon,
Mhm.
COVID-free pa. So sila ang nasa low risk talaga yung dalawang probinsya.
Doc Josh, before I'll go to Attorney Kenneth, no? Kasi may nag-text, itong dalawa na ba daw yung confirm natin na positive na namatay?
Yeah, I think we will just wait for the LGU, si Mayor siguro, or Zamboanga City Medical Center to announce this incident.
But it's positive. Okay, so we'll just wait. Attorney, based sa pronouncement ni President Duterte, no? Kasi tayo nasa low risk. So downgrading the ECQ from GCQ, are we ready?
Well, I think we really need to make a clear distinction between the GCQ and the ECQ based on the information released by the Office of the Presidential Spokesperson. It appears that there are really only a few modifications from the ECQ to the GCQ. In fact, under a general community quarantine, our airports and our seaports will only function for purposes of transporting cargo. There will still be no inflow of passengers to the city of Zamboanga if ever we will be converted into a general community quarantine. However, based also on the information that we obtained, Zamboanga City would fall by province under the province of Zamboanga del Sur, and Zamboanga del Sur was categorized as one having a moderate risk infection. And we also understood from the pronouncement of the President that these LGUs who want to continue in a state of enhanced community quarantine may do so subject to the approval of the Department of Interior and Local Government. Now, with respect to the question that you raised, I think the Mayor has been very clear about this issue. The primary consideration really here is the protection of the health of the inhabitants of the city of Zamboanga. And taking our cue, as stated by our good Assistant Regional Director, we are not really ready to face the further contagion of this pandemic, because the reality on the ground is that we only have a few accredited medical facilities. We only have over 200 medical practitioners here in our city, many other allied health workers who are stationed here, and half of them right now are on quarantine as a matter of protocol. So really the city is not ready to restore to normalcy. But of course, we recognize the President's power of supervision over the local government units. So the city is now exploring remedies in order for us to maintain our status quo without being inconsistent or without going against the policy of the national government.
So according to the memorandum of Secretary Anyo, before daw pwede for LGUs, no, na who will continue to declare ECQs, must have the approval of the Interagency Task Force. Are we complying with that, Attorney?
Actually, the Mayor is going to meet with the members of the City Council on this matter because we want to have a collective stand on the issue of whether Zamboanga City will remain under the state of an enhanced community quarantine. Now, we understand the plight of the people, especially that relief assistance has not really reached all the households in the city, as well as the programs of the national government. But as our good doctor has stated earlier, there is really a need to prioritize which matters at this point in time. We have been under this state for almost, I think, more than a month already since we declared lockdown here in the city of Zamboanga, closing our borders. And we do not want our sacrifices just to be, wasted by hasty decisions made just because people are pressuring you already to go back to normalcy. Because the reality here is that as of this time, we still have 267 suspect cases and 76 awaiting results. The problem really is this. If, for example, a patient is confirmed positive, the first thing that those attending to him will have to do is to do an efficient contact tracing to determine who among the people proximate to him he had a very close contact with. Like, for example, if he went to some other hospitals, if the medical professionals who attended to him wore the necessary PPEs, these are very tedious processes. That is why if we already restore back to normalcy, we do not monitor those who come to our city, then we expect that the data given to us by our assistant director will really translate into reality. If you say you have 250,000 people infected, and with the current state of our health facilities, we will be expecting hundreds, if not thousands of deaths, especially to the vulnerable sector, which is the young and our senior citizens. And that is the only issue that our mayor is now contending with, because her priority is the well-being of the people of Zamboanga.
And taking into consideration the data, no, ano to, yung sinabi ng ating epidemiologist, no, we have not yet reached the peak, no, of the spread of the virus.
Yes.
So the city government will definitely write the IATF.
Of course, we are very compliant from the very beginning. In fact, the executive order of the mayor now, in implementing our state of enhanced community quarantine, we followed all the guidelines of the Department of Interior and Local Government. We really recognize the President's power of supervision over us, because he has the power to ensure that all our actions are within the functions given to us by the local government code. But we have to reconcile this issue with respect also to the primary duty of the mayor to promote the general welfare of her constituents. So it's really a very complicated process, but of course we have a very good working relationship with our DILG officials, and the mayor is in constant communication with the chief implementer of the community quarantine program of the government, General Galvez. So we will know in the coming days as to our compliance with the requirement of Secretary Anyo.
Even General Galvez or Secretary Galvez said last night, no, wag munang makumpiyansa ang mga low-risk provinces na dineclare. So, ibig sabihin, bakit ba? What's the reason behind sa tingin ninyo, gentlemen? No? Why it was downgraded from ECQ to GCQ?
Yeah, kasi ang tinitingnan din naman ng national government natin, no, na paano natin masustain itong ECQ, especially yung pagkain, yung mga kabuhayan ng mga tao natin, na kung lahat ay i-lockdown nyo for longer period. But our national agencies naman ay working in scale, no? And the risk na tinitingnan nila kung pwede na ba natin ito i-melo o i-downgrade ang ECQ. But kung kaya lang sana, no, we would say especially in the health sector, kasi yun nga the entire Philippines, the entire country, hindi natin kaya kung ang mangyayari natin ay parang sa USA, no? Sa New York, na they are already counting thousands every day ng body bags. Much more for us na hindi talaga rin natin kaya yan. Kaya kung ako, no, especially sa health sector, alam namin kung ano yung capacity natin. So, dapat talaga we have to extend, kasi nakikita na natin, no, especially sa ngayon, kung yung result natin na we were able to flatten this, kung ma-maintain natin yan, is because of our our enhanced quarantine, yung distancing, strict tayo sa implementation nito, na although may mga matitigas na ulo na nagpalaboy-laboy pa rin, but at least kukunti na lang yun sila na makikita natin. But now, kaya kung makita natin, nag-i-issue na ng quarantine pass, no, para to ensure na doon, at saka isa lang per house. So, yun ay mga magagandang strategy, especially kasi hindi nga natin kaya, and iisipin natin, especially kung yung sa hospital na tayo, yun na ang last defense natin. And alam mo, Doc Cecil, no, once na naka-make bed na yung pasyente, ang probability of dying is 80%. So, ilan na, kawawa talaga tayo kung hahayaan natin ito. Especially, kaya I would say, no, na kaya minsan parang naguguluhan din tayo sa national office, bakit ganito yung decision, bakit pabago-bago yung mga guidelines, and you should remember that this is a coronavirus. Hindi pa talaga na, even WHO are still studying kung ano ba talaga ang characteristic, yung behavior ng virus na ito, kasi minsan may nagdadalawa na test, negative. At the third test, nag-positive uli. Tapos, yun, pinapalabas mo na yung pasyente kasi yung first exam niya, wala na siyang symptoms, wala na siyang, o talagang...
Like what happened in Davao, no?
Yeah, like what happened in Davao, na dalawang exam, nag-positive yung third exam. Kaya as of now, yun lang na talaga, no? We should be patient enough, we should listen to our health authorities, our LGU, na kung ano yung ginagawa nila. Kasi I don't think so na what the decision of our mayors, no? Yung mga governors natin, yung mga mayors natin, ito ay hindi naman para sa sarili nila, kundi this is to ensure the safety and protection ng lahat ng mga constituents.
Nakikita kasi natin, no, I for one, no, nakita ko yung effectivity ng quarantine passes. Konti na lang yung mga tao sa mga groceries, hindi wala nang pila sa mga tiyangge, konti na lang yung mga vehicles, konti na lang sa road, no? So I think siguro first 2 days pa lang o first 3 days, no, ng implementation medyo sumusunod na ang mga tao. Siguro konting ano pa, no? Para at least wala na talaga. Okay, Doc Josh, like in the national level, they have the death and recovery rate. What is the death recovery rate in the region, Sampen?
For 10, I think it's 1 per, yeah. Kasi as of yung 10 confirmed case natin, may isang death lang tayo, no? So 1/10, magkano yan? Ano yun sa percentage?
1/10, I think that's 10% lang, no? 10%.
Yeah.
So yun ang recovery rate natin.
Yun ang yung case fatality.
Okay. Case mortality, 10%, no, of the 9. Then our city health office was not able to classify us. In your view, Doc Josh, what classification will Zamboanga City be?
Kasi kasama tayo sa buong Zamboanga dun, so nasama kasi yung squad. But I think for Zamboanga City we are in moderate. So kasi yung mga low risk, yun ang mga walang
cases.
Yeah.
So sa moderate tayo. Attorney Kenneth, cosa nyo protocols taplan niya implementa aquí na city?
Actualmente, el di aton na executive order at siya nga kita an issue regarding el implementation del quarantine passes. So if the question is with respect to the pronouncement of the president, until this very moment, the mayor has already informed the people that we will continue to be under our status quo. Therefore, the measures that have already been put in place will remain in effect. And I just would like to reiterate that the reason why we have a relatively manageable number of cases here in our city, if we compare it to other major cities, is because of the aggressive measures being implemented by our local government. In fact, as early as I think March 17, if I'm not mistaken, we have already closed our borders. We have not received our flights coming to Zamboanga and even our voyages. So we see that this is a good measure that we should continue to implement, because the reality is, if we will already open our borders, there will be an influx of people coming home or visiting us, and we will have no way of determining whether they are carriers. So we, without any advice coming from the DILG or the interagency task force overturning our declaration of ECQ, we will continue to be under the present situation that we are in now.
So with the present and GCQ, no, Kasi as mentioned by Attorney Kenneth, as is ang ECQ natin. Pag halimbawa, the national government will really implement GCQ, what will happen to classes, mga offices, no?
Yes, we saw somewhere, although we are yet to receive really or to see the memorandum from the Secretary of Interior and Local Government, but we already saw some information coming from the national government that in a general community quarantine, some of our higher education institutions will already have the prerogative to continue holding their classes. And there are several phases of or classification of workers who will be allowed to report to work. And there will be public transportation in a reduced capacity. We have yet to know the definition of a reduced capacity. So these are some of the modifications. And I think the objective of a general community quarantine is to have a semblance of, trying to go back to normal, to allow those who did not work to be able to earn a living again, to at least alleviate the economy. So we really see the good points being laid down by the national government. We understand that there are a lot of places across the country that are not really affected by this pandemic, and so there is no need really for them to implement strict measures. But as far as the city of Zamboanga is concerned, you very well are aware of this. It is a center of it's the center of trade and commerce in the region. We are really prone to a massive infection, and it is really the desire of the mayor to prevent the further infection of the people here in our city.
Question para kay Attorney Beldua. Yung ibang mga barangays hindi rin sila nakapaghatid sa mga households, yung mga QPs. Marami pa rin ang hindi man lang inaabot ng house to house or wala talaga napupunta. Pwede bang ireklamo or may pananagutan ang mga barangay officials?
Actually, tama po, no? Kasi marami po tayong mga reklamong natanggap tungkol sa pag-deliver ng ating mga quarantine passes. When we had the orientation, I think that was last Saturday and Sunday, we clearly informed our barangay officials that the only way to bring this to their constituents is through house-to-house delivery, because we want to observe our protocols on social distancing. Now, the reason why several barangays have been complaining that they lack the required number of quarantine passes was because primarily they did not follow the instruction of the LGU of the city of Zamboanga. Some of them asked people to congregate in barangay halls. Some of them called people to go to a certain residence or to a daycare center. And worse, the city legal office has received complaints that some of our barangay officials gave favors to their relatives or acquaintances, or there are even allegations, no? These are allegations, hindi pa po ito na-confirm, ito yung mga akusasyon lamang na merong mga quarantine passes na binenta. So ito yung mga problema na na-encounter natin sa baba, no? So ito yung mga reklamo lamang, and ang kautusan po ng ating alkalde, ang ating legal officer ay mag-imbestiga kung tama po ba yung mga alegasyon na ito. Meron na po tayong mga nakalap na ebidensya. Meron po tayong maraming mga constituents na dadalawa na yung kanilang mga quarantine. A and B. Pero hindi nila nalaman na hindi naman nila magagamit yun kasi magkaibang barangay. So, yun lang po, no? That is the frustration. Kaya nga sabi natin, we are in a state of crisis. It's so far the most difficult crisis that we have encountered. Pero meron pa pong mga umaabuso. So, kaya po nagka-problema po sa quarantine passes sa baba.
Attorney, what about the show cause order sa mga barangays from DILG? What is this? For what reason?
I have not seen any for the city of Zamboanga, sir, or for...
Yes, for I think based sa DILG pronouncement ni Assistant Secretary or Undersecretary Dino, sa ngayon 6 barangays, no, na
Yung pinatawag nila.
Oo.
Siguro yung pag-implement ng ating quarantine. Kasi nga pinapaalahanan natin yung ating mga barangay captain, they are local chief executives. Sila po ay mga punong barangay. They have the obligation and the responsibility to enforce the law as well as the legal orders of our duly constituted authorities. So kapag may mga paglabag ng ating mga constituents sa mga barangay, they will also become liable because there would be a semblance of a dereliction of duty on their part why these people are outside their residences. Siguro yun po yung tinutukoy ng ating butihing USEC, kaya sila nag-issue ng show cause order.
Kasi dami ding reklamo. Sabihin ko na lang, no? Kasi nangako ako kagabi sa Noche de Ronda na ngayon, since si Attorney Beldua ang magiging guest ko tonight, no? Kasi dyan daw sa Divisoria, parang pinipili lang nila kung sino ang bibigyan. No? May isang kagawad daw na laging nangangako at dami pa rin daw. No? Ang reason ng barangay na ubusan ng papel.
One of the barangays na nag-request po ng additional Q-Pass is yung Barangay Divisoria. Pero we also recognize na may mga barangay talaga na lumaki yung populasyon. Siyempre, yung basehan po natin nung nag-issue tayo ng quarantine pass ay yung census na nangyari nung 2015 with a projection for year 2020. Although, ang pinagtataka lang din po namin sa local government, marami ding mga barangay na nagsauli ng kanilang mga quarantine passes. Ibig sabihin, hindi talaga consistent yung trend na dumami yung population sa mga barangays kasi may mga barangays na nagsauli talaga, siguro more than 20 barangays returned yung mga sobrang quarantine passes. So, ang primary reason na kung bakit natin nakikita na may mga kakulangan sa quarantine passes, number one, posible talaga na umakyat yung numero ng mga tao na nakatira sa kanilang barangay. Number two is yung hindi pagsunod sa kautusan ng ating alkalde kung paano i-implement natin yung pag-deliver ng quarantine passes. Kasi kung hindi natin sinunod yan, kung hindi tayo nag-house to house, malamang makukulangan talaga ng quarantine passes para sa ating mga constituents.
Okay. The two distinguished gentlemen dito, no? Kasi sa nakikita natin ngayon, Doc Jos, Attorney Kenneth, no? Ang mga tao, because of this SAP, because of the quarantine passes, because of the itong binibigay ng ating local government, no? Parang wala na yung issue nila sa COVID. Ang focus nila ngayon sa anong matatanggap nila. Reaction ninyo, Doc Josh.
Okay, kasi ganito naman talaga yung nagkuha ng mga tao, no. Although I don't know kung if it is also doon sa ibang countries, but number one kasi ang inaala ko nila is yung pagkain, no, yung pera at saka yung pagkain. Kasi maskin 500 nga minsan awayan na yan doon sa barangay. So what they are concerned is especially for the food, no, na dapat kailangan nila na kasi yun ang sustenance ng tao. So kaya minsan lumalabas talaga or talagang nawala yung focus nila doon sa COVID at saka iwan ko kung that's a custom ng mga Filipino na yung sinahan tayo ba? Ano sa Tagalog yun? Parang na kung ano yung nasa kabila, ano yung nasa kapitbahay, dapat ako rin ay mayroon din ako dyan, bakit wala ako dyan, no? So, wala bang, hindi tayo tulad ng, although may, hindi naman lahat, no? Na, kasi may iba din na nakita natin doon sa mga Facebook na nabigyan sila ng 2 beses yung husband and wife, so binalik ng isa yung kasi hindi na, kasi mayroon na kaming isa at saka gusto namin na yung ibang tao din ay makakuha nito. Yeah.
Okay. Attorney.
Siguro the reality sa ating pagbibigay ng mga programang tumutulong sa ating mga pamilya, lalo na yung mga mahihirap na pamilya, hindi talaga lahat mabibigyan. So I think that is really the problem during the first wave of our distribution of family food packs on the part of the city government. We were able to serve only around 80,000 families. So malaki yung populasyon ng ating lungsod. We are close to 1 million. The challenge really is how to step up our relief efforts, because we are aware that the people will have no choice. If they are left with no food on their table, they will really have to find ways to leave their residences. And so it's a challenge to the city government as well as to our national agencies to step up the relief efforts so that the people will really stay at home.
Okay. Bago natin ipagpatuloy, no? Good evening, Councilor Rudy Lim, Sir Check Sampang, Eddie Tupa Saavedra, good evening, Engineer Alan Romel Labayo, good evening, Dan, online pa, on air pa yun, Dan, no? Wait lang to, sige. Sheikh Abdul Wakil Kasim, good evening. Butch Villanueva, good evening. Melanie Evangelista de Binagracia, Susie Lobe, Darwiza, Romeo Blancho and Bobot Blancho, good morning, no? Alina, Florida, US of A. Kahit morning kanila ara. Nonoy Asebron, Noy, advance happy birthday. Jofo Abdusalam, good evening, Doc Ses, and to your handsome guest, especially to Attorney Kenneth Beldua, my lodi. Then Henry Salak, okay. Good evening, Gina Lee. Nakalimutan ko kung anong itatanong ko, no? Yung attorney, ano ang magiging senaryo ng Zamboanga City post-COVID?
Well, the mayor has already given instructions po sa ating vice mayor, si Attorney Romel Agan, at sa ating mga konsehal na pag-isipan na yung mga ordinansang pwedeng ipasa regarding sa ating economic recovery. This is a very serious aspect kasi marami talagang mga industriya na naapektuhan dahil sa ating enhanced community quarantine. And the city government of Zamboanga will continue to explore ways paano matulungan yung ating mga mamamayan na bumalik sa normal. Pero yung hinihingi nga natin sa ating mga kababayan dito sa lungsod ng Zamboanga ay patuloy na sumunod sa ating mga patakaran para mas mapabilis natin yung ating period of the ECQ at dahan-dahan makabalik na tayo sa normal na sitwasyon dito sa ating lungsod.
Okay. Doc Josh, kasi parang wala na tayong oras, no? Scenario na nakikita nyo post-COVID for Region 9.
Okay, number one, post-COVID, this is especially kung mayroon na tayong vaccine, mayroon na tayong gamot for COVID, then we can say that we can already go back to normal. But yun nga, ito yung mga new normal, no, na gagawin natin before may vaccine na available in the market. So, but this will be a great big paradigm shift, especially on the healthcare, no, because this is already a lesson learned natin, because kung titingnan natin, especially like for example yung sa public health natin, no, yung sa community, dapat iplano na, especially sa mga LGU, na kailangan pala natin yung isolation. Isolation ward na talagang pattern siya ng talagang ideal na isolation ward, no? Isolation area sa community. And then doon naman sa mga hospitals, kasi kaya natagalan tayo doon sa preparation natin, kasi yung design ng mga hospitals natin, ilan lang yung mga isolation ward natin na based sa licensing, 1 or 2 beds ng isolation, okay na yan. Pero they just identify it na isolation na hindi talaga siya ideal na isolation room, no? So yun ang mga malalaking pagbabago, especially when we go to post COVID, na especially yung mga healthcare facility nga natin, na dapat sa mga hospitals, especially yung mga isolation area natin, mga ilang kailangan dapat ito yung isolation area natin na kumpleto talaga siya, no? Naka-negative pressure, tapos may anteroom, may kung saan ka magdoon, and then kung saan yung exit, no? So this will be a big changes, especially kung magkuha tayo. At saka yun nga na dapat, like for example dito sa Region 9, no, kasi nandito sa Zamboanga yung kuan, and then dito yung pinaka highly urbanized, na we will be setting up, no, na isang malaking isolation or infectious hospital na talagang kung pwede lang kung ilan yung rooms na dapat mga negative pressure room, and talagang naka-design na siya kasi remember, no, mayroon na tayong SARS, may MERS tayo, this is our infectious, ngayon may COVID tayo. So ito mga virus na ito, especially yung environment natin are already degraded, no, mas madali na yung mga bagong mga viruses. So dapat ito na yung titingnan natin post-COVID, kung paano natin iplano yun, na dapat like for example for Zamboanga, dapat mayroon na tayong isang malaki na
Isolation.
infection
Do we have
hospital.
ilan po ang drug rehabilitation centers natin dito, Doc Josh?
Mayroon tayong isa dito sa MCS, mayroon tayo sa Sindangan, and also in Ipil. Pero yung kasi mga maliliit lang yun doon sa, at saka hindi pa siya kompleto. Pero itong sa MCS natin, ito yung kompleto talaga siya, na may dorm, mayroon siyang mayroon ngang gymnasium para saan maglalaro yun.
What about yung sa Aurora?
Yung sa Aurora, hindi natin nakuha kasi it was constructed mga 1994. It was turned over, yung Dangerous Drug Board, DDB ang nagpa-construct doon, and it was turned over to the municipality, but it was not operated by the municipality. But still we are endorsing it doon sa central office, but until now we haven't received any instruction for that drug rehab area.
It just crossed my mind, no? Kasi kung worst scenario, no? Kasi kung kailangan na talaga, kulang yung medical center, baka pwede natin gamitin yung mga drug rehabilitation centers natin to turn into isolation or COVID centers.
Yeah, pero yung drug rehab natin, I think nasa 70% pa, hindi pa siya na-turn over, hindi pa siya completed.
Oo. Kasi kung between drugs and COVID, I'd rather go for the rehabilitation, no?
Pero ganito naman yung still, no? Especially kung may surge tayo. All this, kasi dito sa Zamboanga, mayroon tayong 2 DOH hospital, MCS and Labuan. So eventually, kung talagang hindi na kaya ng medical center, then yung surge kuhaan natin doon, kung hindi na kaya yung surge capacity, no, doon na yun i-convert natin yung mga hospitals na yan.
Okay. So, Attorney Kenneth, no? Same question pero local for Zamboanga City.
So I think we really need to prepare our health facilities. We really did not see this coming, no? This is a situation that we are ill prepared for. And this is a wake-up call for us to also make some advancements when it comes to our health facilities. In fact, our city health officer is now strongly recommending that we should have our own laboratory that we will be able to conduct mass testing. So these are challenges, and with sufficient funding, we will be able to address this so that we will give access to our people to enable them to know whether they are positive with this particular infection.
Would you suggest or recommend the attorney the evacuation center being constructed in Kabatangan, no, to transform into a COVID or COVID center or
Temporary
Yes. I think it's not yet even near completion.
Oo.
So it's quite premature. There are still other government facilities that we have in the city that we might be able to use in case of a worst case scenario. So we will carefully study this together with our health authorities as well as our other city officials.
Okay. So, wala na po tayong oras. Doc George, final message?
Yeah, okay, again, ito pa rin yung mensahe natin, no? Especially this time na kung makita natin na hindi tayo masyado maraming cases, ito ay dahil tinutupad natin yung home quarantine kasi ito yung mga preventive measure na kasi wala pa tayong gamot, no? Wala pa tayong at saka hindi natin makikita itong kalaban natin. So magtago muna tayo sa bahay and then i-practice natin yung social distancing, yung paggamit ng face mask at saka yung paghugas ng kamay at saka paggamit ng hand sanitizer natin. Kasi we have to practice this because in case no na pupunta tayo sa general quarantine, ito pa rin yung mga bagay na ipa-practice natin. Ito yung mga new normal na sinasabi nila, no,
new norms, no?
na hindi natin ito ginagawa noon, but ngayon talagang gagawin na natin para maiwasan natin at saka mapa-reduce natin yung transmission ng virus at kasi hindi natin hanggang ngayon hindi pa natin makikita kung ano yung at saka sinasabi naman natin no na in reality hindi talaga kaya ng health system natin kung yung healthcare natin dito sa peninsula, even the whole country, I think, kung magse-surge itong cases natin. So again, we will kunting pasensya lang at saka para tayo ay we will stay healthy, no, even with this situation that we had, if only we will follow yung mga advice ng LGU natin, ng mayor natin, and we encourage, no, again we will encourage our LGUs, no, local government units, to really, especially yung even now, no, kailangan pa rin natin yung isolation area or tinatawag nila ngayon yung temporary treatment and monitoring facility. Kasi, especially kung general quarantine na tayo, kailangan dapat isolate natin yon, and then hopefully our laboratory, no, yung sa Department of Agriculture, we can operate that siguro in the first week of May kasi supposed to be we are targeting it na 2 weeks, no, which is hanggang Friday, pero dahil doon sa nangyari sa RITM kasi dapat ang RITM pa rin ang mag-assess doon at saka magbigay ng go signal kung pwede na siya, although lahat ng mga preparations are already ongoing and yung training natin sa mga medtechs will be done next week, and yun lang, hinihintay namin yung test kits at saka yung certification or accreditation ng DOH.
Attorney.
Salamat sa pagkakataon ito, Doc Ses. Gusto nating ipaalam sa ating mga kababayan dito sa ating lungsod na naiintindihan po ng inyong pamahalaang lokal ang inyong sitwasyon. At dahil dito sa darating na mga araw ay makakaasa sila na mas madaming tulong ang maibibigay ng ating pamahalaang lungsod. And we also have to reconcile this fact with the reality that we are not yet prepared for this pandemic, where if in case it will reach its peak as projected by our epidemiologists. And we have to remember that for the past weeks, we have already achieved gains with our implementation of the ECQ. We are very thankful to our frontliners who are actually our last line of defense sa ating mga doktor, mga nurse at saka sa ating mga medical workers to our, even the maintenance personnel of our hospitals, the city government is very grateful for all your sacrifices, for putting your lives in danger in order to help cure the sick. And the city government of Zamboanga, under the leadership of Mayor Ben Climaco, Vice Mayor Romel Agan, and the members of the city council, will continue to do what is best for the protection of the health and safety of the people of Zamboanga. Maraming salamat, muchas gracias y buenas noches a todos.
Okay, thank you very much, Assistant Regional Director Dr. Josh Brillantes and Attorney Kenneth Beldua. So, sa ngalan po ng lahat ng bumubuo ng IRDT, headed by our Executive Director, M.K. Jikiri, our President, Maas Usog, the Board of Directors, the men and women of IRDT, si Dog Ses po, nagpapasalamat, maraming salamat, muchísimas gracias. Thank you very much, Maksukol Kanyo Katantan, Terry Makasi, at nag-iiwan po ng isang maganda at mapayapang gabi po sa ating lahat.